This is Safari Catch Up, your speedy, punchy look at the last day in the wilds of Africa.
Well, it is Saturday, Catterday, and we've got 3 beautiful lionesses busy drinking water here at Jacis Dam, females from the Nkuhuma pride. But the one female on the back end, you can see she's got a proper wound. Apparently there was quite a fight here last night. There's another 3 females that came from the south into this area, so I've got a feeling it might be the females from maybe Sevu pride or the Mabula pride. But apparently there was other females that bumped into them last night, so they had a bit of a scrap. Well, we now left the dam with 5 females and 1 Ndzhenga male is there. And here's the 6th Nkuhuma female with one of the Ndzhenga boys this side on the buffalo kill. As you can see, he is just busy feeding away. Oh, check it out.
We're having a beautiful sighting here of a female Inyala who is trimming what I believe to be a zebrawood, which has sprouted some new growth. We've really struggled to put antelope on the camera this week. They have been a little bit camera shy, but look at this. This is one of my favourite antelopes as well, the Inyala. Such beautiful creatures. Feeding on these fresh leaves with gusto this morning. They're destroying all of those leaves. Sorry, zebrawood. They are exclusively browsing animals, but occasionally you do see them doing what looks like that they would be grazing, that they've got their head down in the grass. More often than not, I don't want to say they never ever eat grass, but normally when you see them do that, there'll be some little shrub or a very young shoot that's just coming through that they found, because remember, young things generally taste better. There's a few impalas in the background, but she's sort of separated from the rest of the group. She's a bit of a loner, this one. We had about 4 or 5 Inyalas here earlier. The rest have sort of disappeared into the background.
Good morning, madam. Do we look familiar? Definitely she is investigating me and myself. And you can see how still the others are. Very clever animals. We have said many times, so long as you don't surprise these animals, everything is Hakuna Matata, and especially the elephants. Many other animals in the wilderness. Just let them know, you're there. And once they know that, then everything's good. She's I would say, 1 meter away, just about a meter actually, from the vehicle. We're not moving, the engine is switched off. I try to keep my voice soft. Sometimes I'm always very loud. And you can see the wrinkled trunk there. It's very close, and shortly after she's gonna leave. Once she is satisfied, we are good friends, we are good neighbors. We share the same compound in the camp. She's just gonna leave. Sometimes they'll just shake their head, like, what are you talking about?
You can see now using that strong jaws. That's one thing, that the bite force of a hyena is quite amazing. Oh, it's seeing something. I think this hyena is a little bit nervous with all those lions calling. So we're not too far from that area. We're on Chitwa at the moment. We are just to the west of Chitwa airstrip. And so we're not far from Jacis Dam. You can see the hyena is not too comfortable. And one of the top predators, if that's one thing. I always believe if there's ever a apocalypse or something, we'll be the last animal surviving. Fantastic scavengers, as well as hunters. You'll see how they just go through that hide. They'll eat practically everything. Of course, not the horns or the skull or the vertebrae is too thick. But most of the other stuff they will go through. They will feed on everything.
Look what we've found. We've found little Pasambwari, or not so little Pasambwari anymore, lying up in this riverbed. And Paul and I have done a little celebratory dance that we have managed to locate at least one individual of the Black Tam Pride. We haven't seen any of the others yet, but thankfully he is quite obvious when he's lying in relatively short grass like this. I just got a really good look at his eyes, much paler than I thought they would be. Isn't he gorgeous, Joanna? He really is. Very striking. Angelic. Being backlit beautifully by the sun as well. There's also some monkeys just calling from quite far up the river, a long way up the river, and I was just wondering whether they've seen him because he's so obvious, this white thing in the grass, or whether there are perhaps some more behind us. So we'll see what happens here, and then we may go and check up there, or maybe that's where our leopard is hiding.
So we are still sitting here patiently watching in anticipation. The Black Rock Pride might be making a hunt here. Oh, looks, we've got a lioness in the grass here. There's quite a lot happening though. So there's only one lioness up front, and then the other sub-adults are falling in behind her, but I wouldn't say they're very serious about this hunt. There is a Thompson's gazelle that is quite close to this lion. I don't think... Oh. Let's see what's going to happen. There's a warthog there as well. Is the warthog going to give away their position? Oh. So she keeps crawling in closer and closer. I can see some of the wildebeest looking at her, but I don't think wildebeest take the cake for being the most intelligent antelope in the savannah. So there's a good chance that they won't know that she's there. But that little warthog on its own could give away this lion's position, because I think the warthog knows this lioness is close by. He's definitely being a bit skittish. She's going down. She's... In Masai would say, Vichwa lala kama chapati. This lion is flat like a chapati.
Okay, everybody, we have some giraffes. A group of them here, looks to be 4 or 5. Interestingly, this one is feeding on a tamboti tree. And so these tambotis, when they're young, they have this sort of greyish appearance. And look, they're very spiny when they are young, which is obviously just a method of protection. They'll then rely on that chemical defence. If you pick a tamboti leaf, you'll find that it's got a white milky latex, and as a general rule of thumb out here, any plant that has a milky latex, unless you know precisely what you're doing and your botany is quite strong, it is much recommended to keep well away from it. But what they're also well known for doing is allelopathy, which is a way of transmitting those toxins into the soil and actually stopping other trees from growing there. It inhibits grass movement, or grass growth, other plants there, and it's a brilliant way to deal with competition. If you are a plant, you can't move. So it's very difficult to compete with other plants around you, but if you're able to make that area of soil unattractive or unpalatable or poorly nutritious, then all good.
So we found a herd of Thompson's gazelle here that the last couple of days there's been one female grass gazelle. And it's quite interesting when you see here in the Masai Mara, you get these mixed herd of Thompson's and Grant's gazelle. So they do hang out together because these mixed species groups live both in harmony and safety with one another. So some reason that these gazelles can spend time together is because they don't necessarily compete with each other because they feed on different parts of food. So your Grant's gazelle, they're a much larger gazelle and they'll feed more on shrubs and leaves, and they'll even browse a little bit. That's a Grant's gazelle, where the smaller Thompson's gazelles, they're more looking for the very small shoots of grass. Oh, look, there's a tiny little baby there. Tiny little baby Thompson's gazelle. So it's quite nice. You can see the difference in size between these two species.
So it has taken rather quite some time before getting to one of the toppy boys here, who is feeding on a pig. Now, this is not a fully grown pig, it's more of a piglet, what sometimes Masai like calling hoglet. And from a distance before getting here, I gathered that it was jackals actually who were chasing this particular piglet, and one of the lionesses from the marsh pride joined. You can see them there. That one particular female, I guess there are two of them there, but one of the females there, thank you myself for that. So the jackals chasing the pig, and she also joined on the chase. And apparently, once both of them brought the piglet down, I'm talking about the jackals and the lioness, this male came in the hunt very quickly, and he sadly pushed out the hunters or the huntress out and the jackal out, and he kept the piglet. Not sure what to think of this boy. He practically did nothing. He took advantage of the other members.
So we've just repositioned to find the rest of the Black Rock Pride. So we've got 3 individuals just in front of us. So it looks like 2 sub-adults and a lioness on this little mound. Oop, off this guy goes. And then of course our other lioness and 2 sub-adults are behind us. So for now I can only see 6 individuals. Shame, the flies are really bad. Like, I'm struggling with 3 or 4 flies in the car. I'd hate to know. These lions, they have lots of flies at the moment, especially when the wildebeest herds are around and those buffalo herds. Oh, this youngster on the hill, he just had the biggest sigh. So Malika, yes, these lions here in this part of the Mara do seem to still hold their spots for quite a long period of time. Obviously we've got Doa and a few other light individuals that do have quite prominent spots that they still have. Look at those spots. So it's obviously still a sign that they are related to leopards, very distantly related. And when they are cubs, these spots are way more prominent, and it helps them to blend into the thickets, blend into the grass, which helps hide them from predators.
We're sitting with a little reed cormorant here, who's actually had a rather successful few minutes. Just before you crossed over to us, he caught 4 fish in quick succession, tiny, tiny little fish. And now he's obviously digesting. Beautiful reed cormorant. It's in its non-breeding plumage. But still, you know, when you look at them from a distance, you kind of think, oh, drab grey birds. But when you actually start looking at the detail of the markings on their feathers, each one of those wing feathers has got like a little black spot on them. It's actually incredible how intricate birds' markings are when you actually study them in detail. Cormorants are very intelligent birds, and they have quite a long history of kind of symbiosis with humans. I know in the East there are a number of species of cormorants that were used, humans kind of used them to fish for them. So there was a kind of a symbiotic relationship where the humans trained the cormorants to fish for them, and then the cormorants would get, the humans would obviously feed them some of the fish as well. But they are quite intelligent birds and capable of forming bonds with people.
So basically what they're doing here, they're just digging salt for themselves, and they'll eat, the soil as it is. Then I'm sure as it goes in the digestive system, it will absorb the salts, be it calcium. Ooh, look at that boy. Look at that calf there. He might end up being a boy. Using the trunk to hold on. How exciting. Are you trying to reach the memory glands? Not really. I think you're just too playful, full of life. You have a good balance, so there's no excuse you cannot balance yourself there.
And as you can see, we've got a beautiful African hawk eagle that is busy drinking water here at Jack's Pan. My favorite bird. Absolutely stunning eagles. I love them, but there's a female giraffe that's approaching the water now. Now I'm not hoping that this giraffe is not gonna spook this eagle off while it's busy having a drink. As you can see, you'll find there's a female giraffe. She's a little bit tentative on getting to the water. Now and again she's looking at that bird as well. But that's typical of giraffe. When giraffe is coming down to a waterhole for a drink, it seems like they're always very much aware of their surroundings and they don't want to get surprised by something. And the reason for that is you can imagine a female of 4.5 meters like this now. She has to bend down, fold those front legs out and then try and lower her head to the water. And sometimes while they're doing that, it's almost like they're a little bit vulnerable. And then you've got this big male giraffe behind. And he's kind of looking at the female. He's letting her go first. He's like, yeah, move on.
Well, we're sitting watching a beautiful rhino cow with her not that young calf. I would imagine with the calf being the age it is, that she would probably be coming into estrus sometime soon, or possibly even maybe already pregnant with her next calf. You can see how their mouths just don't stop. They really are very efficient lawnmowers. So lucky, Hazel, and so lucky to get this close to them as well. They just very slowly kind of made their way from quite far in the clearing towards us. So we really are lucky to have a close view of these magnificent beasts.
Very monogamous birds, always seeing a male and a female together. Now, these birds have been here because of the rains. They have not been here for quite some time, but the short rains have brought so many birds, and mainly these cranes, grey crown cranes. Julian, you're saying these are very beautiful birds, and apparently, not sure, Julian, you know, once they have their youngsters and it's time to win them, they have some sort of courtship, and actually they do a small wedding between the groom and the bride. You'll see them like having little dances, like having a little arrangement, who brings the flowers, who sits where. We don't see the actual engagement, over ring, but they have sort of a wedding that they always conduct to see off their young ones.
Yes, so we've got a beautiful spur-winged goose. Yeah, can you believe it? A pair of spur-winged geese. Treehouse plan. Wow, wow, wow. And it's one of the fastest flying birds. Can you believe it? The spur-winged geese is one of the fastest flying birds. I think they rate in the top 10. And they've got this beautiful green kind of tinge to their feathers. Iridescent colors that's coming through. Absolutely stunning. Almost like an emerald green. And I got this stunning like a pink bill, and then they've got that white underparts and that green sheen that's along their sides. And I'm trying to figure out which one is a male. I'm sure the one on the left looks a little bit bigger than the one on the right. So I think the one on the left is the male. Partners, I think they are monogamous when it comes to relationships. I think these are partners for life.
We have spotted the vulture nest here, which is very cool to see, because the last time I saw this vulture nest, we had the little one sort of being fed and sticking out its head, and now I have a feeling all this time that it's definitely possibly the one on the right. The feathers look a little bit messy. And yeah, very, very cool to see. All the white-backed vulture chicks have grown so much. You can see that one sticking up its head now. And the fledgling will go on to still have the parents bring it food for, I think, a good few weeks after, it's big enough to move around. I think that is the youngster. It's got some juvenile plumage there on the wing. Oh, still going down. Oh, how cool is that? Still that instinct to go down under, and then the adult covering it over. That was very cute.
Well, it looks like this big boy has decided to get up and come for a drink here at the water's edge. There we go, my big boy. This is the bigger of the two males. But what beautiful light that's hitting him now. That golden light. And with the golden hour now. Well, he's lapping up that water, quenching that thirst for the afternoon. And they've got beautiful melons, these Canine gold, exactly. This is line magic. It's in the sun, this golden color that's just popping out. Like it's just the tawny colors becoming gold. It's really, really beautiful. Looking at a lot of the females all getting up and heading back to the kill. So that's interesting. And these guys can drink for a long period of time. There we go. I think that looks a little bit more comfortable sitting like that than actually standing.
Morning.
We have some potential excitement here. There is an elephant coming across from the left-hand side. Oh, here he comes. I don't know if he's noticed them yet. He seems pretty content. But what's interesting, we've got an elephant on the left and we've got a whole herd approaching from the right. They're not in frame just yet, but I can see them clearly, and they are moving directly towards where the bull is. I think it's a bull on the left hand side. So the lions are sort of sandwiched in between them all, and most likely they're either going to run back or they're going to run towards us. I'm hoping for the latter, of course. Yeah, he's definitely coming this way. There we go. So for them, their best bet is to just move out of the way. We'll see what this Ellie decides to do. That young male just sits down again.
So we've got our 2 male cheetah again. It's dusk, which is not a good time for them to hunt, because it is, it increases the chances of brown hyenas being around. I can see a jackal already approaching their kill, and I'm just wondering how much of it they're going to get to eat. See how quickly they open up that kind of stomach area, keeping the stomach itself intact, because they don't want the smell of the stomach contents to travel and alert other predators to their presence. Listen to the jackal. The cheetah are not happy with that jackal. Did you see how? I'm just keeping quiet so you can hear. Did you see how they turned and almost glared at him when he started calling like that? I can hear some others answering in the background. So I'm wondering if this jackal is calling up its family to come for a meal.
We have just watched a Faroe's eagle owl fly and land right here in the tree. How cool is this? I just see its partners flying as well, a little bit further away. So the two of them, we know that there's a pair in the area. Actually, on my last stint, we had, I'm sure it's the same pair. It's very much the same area. And I heard a young bird calling. We know that a pair has a nest along Malawan River Road, which is just ahead of me to the right. And I'm sure that little one would be now fledged and also calling for mom and dad. So interesting stuff. You hear that dee-dee in the background. That's the young Faroe's eagle owl. It is quite far though. I'm not sure if you can hear it.
That was a brilliant look at the safari highlights from South Africa and Kenya over the last day. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. See you next time.